Good afternoon, everyone. Right, welcome to another weekly review of the technical alert that I have shared in the communicator. Okay, so I believe everybody will know me. My name is Zhong Liang again. So let's look at the alert that I have posted. Right, starting from last Monday, I mentioned about two stocks, CMMC Gold Mine and Sembcorp Industry. Okay, so if you look at the chart over here, CMMC Gold Mine has an entry price of 30 cents, and we are looking at the breakout of more than 6 million. Okay, so the reason why are we looking at this counter? Because right, we can on the chart you can see that we have the low and the higher low was forming, and a breakout will form the next higher high. And at that point of time, gold chart was moving towards uptrend. So CMMC is a counter that tracks gold very closely, and from its weekly chart, it has also rebounded from its 20-week MA. So therefore, there might be some potential upside. Okay, so let's take a look at the chart right now. Okay, so you can see from the daily chart that I have for you, this is a Lim and Tan live charts. Okay, so you can we can go back to the particular day where the signal or the breakout was anticipated. So indeed, the counter did have a good breakout above its resistance at 295 and hit the entry price of 30 cents and went higher to 31 before it pulled back to 30 cents and closed at 30 cents. The volume was good, above 6 million, but unfortunately, because it has went to 31 and closed at 30 cents, it actually formed a long upper shadow. This tells you that there is uncertainty in its upwards movement. So, of course, not every long upper shadow would cause the counter or make the counter pull back. But when you have long upper shadow, you tend to anticipate some certain uncertainty, and pulling back is just a natural course of movement. So for the next few days after the breakout, the counter indeed pull back before it starts to rebound up. Today, it is actually trading back to the entry level. But the reason being is because currently the gold price is moving on its mini uptrend, and probably the traders of these counters are waiting for gold to break out and go up higher. So gold currently is consolidating between 1900 to 1915. So this also explains why CMMC Gold Mine is actually also consolidating. So for those who have the gold chart from elsewhere, you can actually see that the chart looks pretty similar to the gold chart. So with the election coming, more volatility from the stock market ahead. Okay, so many anticipated that if Donald Trump were to lose this election, gold price is going to shot up. And if this is the case, well, CMMC gold mine is likely to follow through. So if you were to look at the weekly chart over here, in fact, CMMC still look healthy, and the target at 37 cents is still intact, right? So if gold really shot up, and this is the chance for you to look to protect your profit by taking some position off the table, reduce the risk due to volatility ahead. Okay, you can sell some position if it hit 37. Okay, and for that, right, the rest of the counter you can actually safely ride the uptrend with this counter, because your position has reduced, so therefore your risk has reduced as well. So having said that, of course it hasn't hit the target yet, so let's wait and see, because to the election there's still around 2 weeks to look out for. So we shall see what happened to this counter thereafter. Now the next counter that we talked about was Sembcorp Industry. So on the chart here, you can see that Sembcorp Industry has an entry price of 1.35, and stop loss 1.28, then target 1.47. So let's go to the chart here. Let's look at Sembcorp industry. So let's look at the daily chart for Sembcorp industry over here. The entry price at 1.35 was hit, and the counter currently trading at 1.41, 1.42 with the bid and ask over here, you can see very clearly. Okay, so the counter had a very nice breakout with strong volume on this particular day, 15th of October, and currently it is pulling back with a declining volume. Well, this is a good sign for the counter, as the light volume tells you that there is not a lot of strong selling pressure, and the next push with surge of volume above 1.46 may suggest the uptrend is likely to continue, and of course the target at 1.47 is going to hit if it really had a breakout. And of course, if that happens, you can anticipate that the stocks can go beyond 1.47. So again, you can keep a lookout on these good counters. And let's take a look at the weekly chart. So the weekly chart over here, in fact, tells you that if the counter can continue higher, the next level to watch out for is 1.56, which is the 200-week MA. So having said that, the overall chart still looks strong and bullish. So if you're holding this counter, you should continue to wait for a better result. Now let's look at the next counter. So on the 13th October, highlighted one counter, which is Comfort Delgro. What prompts me to Comfort Delgro is a few factors. One is forming a huge symmetrical triangle. And second is I'm seeing more and more people on the street, especially the food courts, the hawker centers are full of people. So is that the sign that more people is going to take public transport, taking cab, taxis, etc. So this is where I was looking at the entry of 1.5, and let's look at the chart here. So with the economy, or with the government working towards the phase 3 opening, right, a lot would anticipate that the shopping malls, the transport is going to pick up. So the counter actually went slightly higher after posting it, went to touch 1.50 slightly briefly, but the volume did not actually picks up. So the volume, it was quite low over here. Okay, so for me personally, if I see this, I would actually not enter at the entry price. The entry price is a good reference, especially when there is a surge in volume. But if you have entered, then right, here's the plan. Okay, so you can see that the counter actually broke below the MA today, quite disappointingly. So you should therefore watch the support level, which the immediate support level is about 1.41, and if it breaks with high volume especially, do look out for your position and exit as early as possible. Okay, so if the volume is light, watch for the closing, wait for the closing, because the closing, it may close back up to 141 or 142. So for now, do watch for the level that the counter is going to test. Okay, so the best is touch 141 and start to rebound back up and go back to where it's supposed to be, which is the high. Okay, so let's watch further for this counter. Then we talked about on the 15th of October, Sunningdale Tech, which was forming a pennant formation. Okay, the entry price was 165, and we will target 182 and stop loss 155. Sunningdale had a nice break yesterday. Consider nice, huh? Right, for those who are following this counter, the volume was strong. It hit the entry at 165. When it hit the entry at 165, the volume was extremely strong, high, and it actually went past 170 and hit 171. Unfortunately, again, you can see the upper shadow is not significantly long, but quite significant. So therefore, it tells you that there's some uncertainty in this breakout. So currently, the counter is trading at 165, 166 uh, range, and you are looking at another white candle. Okay, so can it successfully break out? I can see that if this counter can close at 170, it is likely to continue to go higher. And in my own opinion, I do think that the target at 1.87 may be still achievable. Sorry, 1.282 rather. My apology, 1.82 is still achievable. Okay, so let's continue to monitor this counter. And let's take a look at the next counter, Sun Power. Okay, Sun Power is dealing with solar panels in China, and the reason why I'm highlighting this counter because there are many possibility on this counter where it can break out from its flat formation, or it can actually form a cup and handle formation, and then break out successfully and trade back to a 715 level. Let's take a look at this counter. Right now, how does it perform? So looking at Sun Power, it is still on the very nice retracement with volume declining or volume remaining at the low. So it actually kind of like gives us the opportunity to enter the market, especially when buyers start to come in, and if it can goes to a 60 cents level, right, with searching volume. So searching volume means that maybe by 11 a.m. you already see that the stocks already hit the high at 1.21 million. So in fact, this counter's chart is still attractive, and with the more and more country looking at the clean energy, of course, this counter definitely has a chance to continue to move up. Now, if you were to look at the weekly chart rather, right? So you can see that if this week, by this Friday, if it can close as a white candle, okay, at 60.5 cents, there is a very strong chance that it can continue its weekly uptrend. Okay, so again, let's continue to watch this counter and hope that there are more possibility coming from this counter. Okay, then we talk about Keppel Corp and MedTech on the 19th of October. Okay, so Keppel Corp and Keppel Corp and MedTech. So let's take a look at Keppel Corp. In fact, if you are following Keppel Corp closely, for the past few weeks, it had been announcing contract wins, divesting of its assets. You know, there's a lot of corporate action going on with this counter, and the counter currently is on a consolidating phase and pending a significant breakout. So if it can break out significantly above this level, 465, right, it suggests that this counter may continue higher to close up the gap over here. Okay, now if you look at the MA, the MACDs, MA 50 and 20 is right below the price. MACDs is moving up, MACD line is moving up, and my entry was 4.65, and target is around 4.83 to 4.91. Okay, so let's wait patiently for its breakout, then followed by we have a MACTech. Okay, so the reason why I mentioned about MACTech was because first there is second and third wave of COVID in many countries, especially our neighbor Malaysia. Recently, there's such in cases, and the MACTech is right now in between the 50 and the 20-day MA, and this gives me the so-called um view of many possibility. Oh, actually, I wanted to use the phrase imagination. So why? Because the counter typically holds well at the support level. In fact, for the past few weeks, it had uh, been doing so. Like here, you are looking at it holding very well at the 20-day MA. And of course, I'm looking for a white candle that peers above the 50-day MA, something like this, right? Then it tells me that it can continue go higher. So the key resistance to watch is actually 158. But of course, more importantly, now the counter must goes beyond 1.35, goes at 1.36. In fact, yesterday it hit the entry at 1.35, and I got questions from my clients. Am I in MACTech already? I told them no. Why? Because I'm watching. Because at the point when it hit 1.35, the volume was extremely low. So I actually didn't take a position, and I choose to wait in later afternoon. Then if the counter has certain positive action, then I will take action. But unfortunately, afternoon it turned to be a bearish one. It turned to selling rather than buying. So this is the reason why I did not enter into MACTech yet. But I'm not writing off this counter because it hasn't break support. It is still at the 20-day MA. So this is where we can right still watch out for a possibility that it can go higher. Okay, then let's look at the counter that we have on the 20th of October, which is today. Okay, in fact 19 was yesterday, so we tend to have a overlapping. We just cover whatever I have highlighted, and next week we'll do the same thing again. So I mentioned about ISDN and sets. ISDN, if you look at the chart, it is actually forming a nice uptrend with a low and higher low, and it's pending a breakout for the next higher high. And currently, if you look at ISDN, it has hit the entry price, and currently it is trading at 42543, and this is a very good sign. And look at the volume. The volume is fantastic. So this is where you can actually join the party, right? Okay, and the next counter is sets. Okay, so sets has actually hit the entry at 308 and start to close. Start to move up higher. If the closing, what I'm trying to say, if the closing hit at about 312, 313, there's a strong chance that it may continue to move higher beyond its resistance at 320 and maybe hit about 3.35. If you look at the bigger picture, it's actually consolidating at the low and pending for the breakout. So this may be the base for sets, and then if more economy recovery were to take place, sets is in position to recover to where it was at the high. Okay, if you look at MACD and stochastics, they are still strong. So let's keep a lookout at with sets and see how it performs next week. Okay. So with this, just like to end off the video by repeating this again. So as everybody knows that I'm actually a remiser, let me turn on my slides so that to give you a better view of the how you can contact me, right? So for those who like to have a personalized service and trade discussion, personal trade discussion, or even discussing different markets and with various different strategy, you can contact me, open an account with me, and this is where we can start off by looking at how can we profit from various markets. Like for example, the US market, there is a sure win strategy. You just need to have patience and just need to stand by your trading capital, and then once it happens, you can start to take in position and easily 5, 6, 7% when the market has a big volatile movement, even 20+% is possible. So for those who are really interested, you can contact me. And with this, I'd like to end the video, and I'll see you next week. Okay, so for the time being, do watch out for volatility in the market, because the market is watching on the stimulus package and it is watching the election. Okay, so with this, let's talk again next week. Good day. Goodbye.